Hey everyone, Peter Finch here and welcome down to another Build My Bag episode. And today is going to be about my favourite part of the bag in many ways because I have so many of them. It's putters. And not just any putters, but every single one of these. Thing to say is I hope you're well, I hope you're safe, and I hope you're following all the guidelines to make sure we all get through this together. And before we launch into this video, which is going to be the biggest putter test that I've ever done in my spare room at home, like this video, get down into the comments below, let me know what you think about these putters which I'm testing, and let me know your dream putter as well. If you haven't already, subscribed to the channel, it's going to help me out now, but also as we move out and into the world from our homes again, it's going to allow me to produce better content for you as well. Okay, on to the putters listed here. Let's begin. So the first thing to say is I've chosen two putter brands to actually test within this test. I've gone for Scotty Cameron and I've gone for Evnroll. Basically, Scotty Cameron is one of the most trusted names, one of the most popular and famous names within putter brands, and Evnroll are a company and a brand that I've been interested in for quite some time, just simply because of their online reputation and some of the technology which is in the club heads. Now this test is going to run in a very simple manner. I'm going to hit all these putters on the mat here I've got at home, and I'm just going to be judging initially on looks alone. So if there's any putters in here which I find particularly horrible, or that I just don't like the look of, they're going to leave straight away. Everything else will move through to round two. Although I do need to say something about me and putters in general. Now, for anyone who's watched my channel for a period of time, not even a period of time, for more than 10 rounds of golf, will understand that I shed my putters faster than a snake sheds its skin. I'm not sure how quickly that happens actually, but let's say it's quite quick. I estimate that, no, I don't have to estimate, I can tell you. So in the past 2 years, I have used 8 different putters. Now, obviously that's quite a lot, and it doesn't tackle the underlying problem of me not being, as of yet, a great putter. No, that's not true. I am a great putter. I just haven't honed my skill in the way that I want to. I'm using a lot more positive self-talk nowadays. But after this test is over, and it's pretty much the same with the entire Build My Bag series, when my bag is complete, I'm going to make a dedication, I'm going to make a commitment to really try and stick to these clubs for the rest of the 2020 season, however that looks with what's going on at the moment. I'm still going to continue to test equipment and I will put it up against what is in my bag, but I'll only switch if there is a noticeable difference, a big difference. And within putting, that's not likely to happen because with putting, it's all about me. I know it's all about me anyway, but you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So yes, quite a change in my face. Almost nothing to do with the fact that my beard trimmer ran out and I then had to properly shave. And it's a proper shave as well. I mean, I've not looked like this in quite a while. But I've been through the rejection process. Let's have a look at the rejected putters. So these are the putters for me that visually just didn't quite make the grade. Now bear in mind, this is purely based on looks alone. There's nothing wrong with the performance of these putters. The two Phantoms, I just didn't like the look of the neck. I didn't like the way that the head sat. I preferred the sleeker shapes that you'll see. Biggest disappointment for me was that square back. I thought I'd really like the look of that, but I actually prefer the look of these Newports, and I'll get into that in a moment. The Flowback 5, no, because of the neck. The Flowback 5.5, yes please. The Delmar, no, and the Fastback 1.5, no. Out of the Evnroll, the ER 1.2, the Newport, I think, are a better looking bladed style putter. Now, the way that this part of the test was conducted was pretty simple, really. I just hit a load of putts. And I just grouped the putts into putters I like the look of, that I like the shape of, that felt the best to me. It is as simple as that. There wasn't anything too scientific about this method. So one thing which shone through is that there's three of the Newports which are going through. Now all of these are slightly different shapes. So this is the Newport 2.5, and what makes it the 0.5 rather than just Newport is this neck. So 2.5, 2, 2.5, 2. You see the difference. There you go. You can really see the difference there in those necks there. Now the normal Newport compared to 2.5, you can only really tell from the top down. I'll get some close-up images to actually show you. The Newport 2 compared to the Newport is just slightly more angular. It's slightly more boxy. And it gives the impression that the actual top, the blade length is longer, and I really like that. But then again, the normal Newport still looks absolutely class. And then the 2.5, I just love that neck. Again, it makes me feel like I can just sit my hands that little bit lower at address, which I like the feeling of. Ooh. Oh, man, just whacked myself right in the kneecap. I was really liking Flowback 5.5 until that point. Bit of a surprise this one, because it's quite a big malleted head, and the blade length is quite a bit shorter when you compare it to the Newport. But that neck combined with the feel, combined with that extra long alignment line, it just really suited my eye. I think that's an early favourite as well as the Newport. The ER2, now this is a little bit different as far as how it sits, the neck and the technology, which we'll get into in a moment with Evnroll. It definitely wins points for being all murdered out. The ER5 hatchback, again the same neck, again murdered out, very, very nice, but this also have one of these. I'm sure that was good English. This is the Evnroll Gravity Grip. Now the Gravity Grip, it basically has a steel bit going down there, and it's a really lightweight grip. Other than that, I'll have to look into it a little bit more. But the way that it felt and the way that it sat behind the ball, yeah, very impressive. So today's the day, third and final day of putter testing, and it is the day, loads of days, that the putter will be picked today. But I want to talk you through some of the tech on these two putters, and we're going to start with the Scotty Cameron, and I've picked the Newport 2. There it is in all its glory. Now the reason that I'm going to talk through the Newport 2 is that it's probably Scotty Cameron's most famous design. You know, this has had countless tour wins, and you see this all the time in the bags of some of the best players in the world. Now in the Special Select, they said they've redesigned this neck, a plumbing neck they call it. And one thing which has happened here, you might just be able to see it. So can you see that the actual neck, as it goes into the head, it's very, very slightly set back from the leading edge of the putter. Now we're only talking a small amount, but what this actually does, it allows better visibility of the whole of the putter face. And because this putter is relatively long, when it goes behind the ball, you can feel like you're squaring it up to your target, squaring it up to this mat very, very easily. That's one thing I don't like with putters, is when the neck and how it goes into the head almost obscures part of that putter face. I like to see the whole of that putter face. Generally, I've got to use it all. So what Scotty is saying as well is that the length of the club determines on what the head weight actually ends up as. So you've got these new tungsten weights here in the bottom of the putter, and they're saying that that enlarges that sweet spot, increases forgiveness on the putter face. So onto the Evnroll putters, and I've got basically two putters that I want to have a look at and show you guys. So first of all, we'll have a look at the ER2. And the most interesting part of these Evnroll putters is what's going on with these grooves on the face. I quite like this one because this is a review on the Evnroll website, probably the first one you're going to come to. Is I turned in my Scotty Cameron putter Special Select Newport 2 for the following reasons. The feel, sound was so much better on this one. I put it on the heel, toe and centre, and the ball still went in the hole all 3 times from 9 feet away. Do not buy if you are competing against me on the Golf Channel Tour and Am Tour. But this goes to the heart of something which I've seen on the internet quite a lot. People absolutely love these Evnroll putters. I'm not sure what their tour presence is like. I can't think of any tour pros that use them. I'm sure there's someone. But I'm being honest with you, with the talk on the technology on these putters, I think this is actually probably more suited towards a handicap golfer anyway. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it's all about these grooves. It's quite hard to see on the camera, so I might have to try and get some images up for you here. So I think it deserves a little bit of time just talking through this face technology and exactly what it says it's going to bring to the putter. So Geraint Rife, who designed this putter, also with Rife putters, you may have had to go with those in the past. So what he and Evnroll basically say is that on a 15-foot putt, a ball hit just half an inch off centre will travel about 6 inches offline and 5% shorter. That slight mishit is a missed putt. And what Evnroll have done is they've got this face milling which imparts progressively more energy transfer on off-centre hits to roll the ball a consistent distance with every stroke. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a video here, apparently show what happens when you strike it off the heel and off the toe. Now I'm saying apparently because, you know, I don't have access to these guys, I don't have access to the robot machine that they're using on the test. I've no doubt that they're not being honest, by the way, because a lot of the reviews have shown this, but obviously I'm not able to test this fully myself. So what's happening here, on the center of the putter, basically those grooves are very closely spaced and there's lots of gaps in between them. You know, they are full on grooves. And what that means is that the impact is softened. Now, as you get to the outside of the putter, so as you start to get to the edge here, these grooves are basically more filled in and therefore there's a little bit more energy transfer onto the putt. So what Evnroll is saying is that if you hit this putt a little bit out of the toe or a little bit out of the heel, it's going to be going the same distance as if you hit it out the center of the putter face. But I have to say that the Evnroll putters during this testing process so far have felt softer than Scotty Cameron's, but they've also felt, I would say, a little bit deader, a little bit less responsive in some respects. So I don't know if it's more what's in my head at the moment, but what it basically feels like is I'm not sure if I'm hitting it from the heel or the toe or the center, because it does feel like it's coming off at a consistent pace. However, when you strike the Scotty Cameron, I think that feels a lot better, and that's across the board, but that's a personal preference. So I'm ready to cross some more things off the board after a good couple of days of testing. I must have hit a good few hundred putts here. I've been hitting off the heel, off the toe, off the center of the putter. I've been using this thing, so this Vizio T-Track, to actually see how straight the ball is coming off, and then I've also been judging off feel. Now, I actually think that the Scotty Camerons feel better than Evnroll. I think the Evnrolls are probably more consistent across the face. I think that's maybe, I have been lured in by what other people are saying in the marketing. I think there is some truth to what Evnroll is saying about that consistency from the heel and the toe strikes, but I've got to be honest, I do like the shape, the feel, and the look of the Scotty Camerons better. So, the Evnrolls, both of them are being crossed off. And I'm also going to narrow it down to two of the Scotty Camerons. I'm going to take the Newport 2 off and the Newport 2.5. So these two putters remain, the Newport and the Flowback, the 5 Focus 5.5. I think either of these putters, if they made their way into the bag, I would be happy with. But we're gonna have to subject these to a little bit of a final test. Now, with the Flowback, I really like the fact that it has that neck. I think it just allows the hands to sit quite low. You can see from behind here, it just looks really nice behind the ball. It doesn't quite... One of the slight disadvantages compared to the Newport is the blade length isn't quite as long, and I really do prefer that. However, I did just get 1 out of 1. If I get 2 out of 2, shut the front door. Yeah, so 2 out of 2, and I get 3 out of 3. If I get 3 out of 3, I don't think there's much choice, is there? This is going to go against a little bit of what I was just thinking, to be honest, because the Newport, I actually really like the look of this. I actually think this looks superb behind the ball. It doesn't quite have the same neck, so it's got this plumb bob neck, or whatever they call it, neck, which is slightly longer, but the actual look of the putter behind the ball, for me and to my eye, it just frames it so well. Oh, almost. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so either of these two putters I'm going to be happy with. I don't really know, if I'm being honest with you, how to split them. They both look great, they both feel nice. In all respects, all of these putters that I've been testing out, I can't go wrong with any of them. At the end of the day, it's down to me, and it's down to my technique and my outlook on putting to make sure that I utilize the equipment the best that I can. The fact is, whatever putter I was going to stick in the bag, yes, what happens when I get out on the course, and if I can focus my brain in a way around putting, which I haven't done before. And bear in mind, once I've been in this confined environment, I've not been able to test out sloping putts, pressure putts, you know, obviously I'm not being able to test this out in any form of real competition. What it's like off the heel and the toe on long distances. As far as a test goes, this is purely based on how it looks, how it feels, and what it's like over a short confined distance. So when compared to the other tests that I've done, I wouldn't say this is as conclusive, but there is something which does remain true. Over the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to be in this room pretty much, practicing my putting. So whatever I emerge with, whatever I go out into the world with, I'm going to be pretty well honed and attuned to what that putter is like. Okay, a decision has been made. I'm making it sound like someone else has made it. So many days of testing, many days of strife, and my back is aching. The putter which I'm going to be going for is the Newport. And it's interesting with the Newport because it's obviously a very classic design. You know, there's nothing really groundbreaking about this. As much as Scotty Cameron and as much as Titleist can, you know, tweak and redefine, it is, at the end of the day, a very similar design to a Newport that would have been out 5, 10, 15 years ago. But the way that this feels in my hands, the balance of it, there's just so much that I absolutely love about this putter. So one of the strange things, this is the ER, the 1.2, the Evnroll. And when I'm looking at these putters side by side, apart from the obvious difference, you know, this has been murdered out, this is in the classic silver colour, they are very, very, very similar. I don't want to say that Evnroll basically took the design and redid it, but it's practically the same shape of putter. But it's just those very slight differences. So the thickness in the top line, the way that it's been milled, the way that this Evnroll has a slight fall off here, while this is a little bit sharper. It's just those tiny, tiny details that actually make the Scotty Cameron just look so much better. And that's the most important, and that's one of the most important things for me, is how it looks behind the ball and the confidence that it inspires.
So last one quick enough, and we have our Newport. Woo-woo.
Now, as mentioned, there's so much about this putter selection that I couldn't do that I would have wanted to. So for example, I can't get fully fit for this. You know, I need to go to a Scotty fitting centre, an Evnroll fitting centre, whichever putter that would have come out. So I think that's something that I might look to do after we get out of lockdown. But what this does do, it completes my bag, and I'm really excited. I'm going to do a separate what's in the bag video just to talk you through everything. But for now, get down into those comments. Let me know what putter you've got. What's your dream putter? Let me know what you think about the putter I've chosen. But once more, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Get down into those comments. I'll see you down here next time. Scotty Cameron Putter.